Authors Tell All, a podcast by Shy Soul. She's bringing you author interviews, book discussions, and more. Stay tuned.
Okay, hey everybody. You are live now with author Godson. He'll be talking about his books, life, and writing in the writing industry. Let's get into this. So, first of all, how are you doing?
What's going on, Miss China? I'm doing good.
Okay, and first of all, I just want to say thank you for letting me have you on my show. We're going to have some fun for this hour.
Most definitely. I appreciate you having me on the show and giving authors like me a platform to come on, and spread that message or whatever they working on and getting themselves out there in the book world. I definitely appreciate that.
Okay, so I just want to ask, where did you grow up?
I was born actually in Mississippi, and in 1984, my family moved to Rochester, New York. So I grew up in Rochester, New York. So that's where I was raised at. But originally a Southern boy, but grew up a city boy. Yeah, so that's where I grew up at. And growing up in Rochester, I came up a little too fast.
Okay.
I was at 12 or 13. I was selling drugs early, and I got a chance to see things a little early that I shouldn't have been seeing. But and I think all of that transformed me into the person I am today. Because going through that negative, I found my way into positive. As a youngin', I was bagging up coke early, 12 or 13 years old. I was around people that was getting shot. I was around killers. I was growing up in that era, around that time, late 80s, early 90s, the world done got a little more wickeder now, because the youngsters, they moving a lot faster. But like I say, I was around things like that I shouldn't have been around, at that young of age, and I got caught selling drugs when I was 14 or 15, and they kind of gave me a little slap on the wrist. And I never got caught again till I was 28 or 29 up in Lockport, New York, where I went to jail and went to court, and I finally got out of that. And when I was locked up for a little while, I just said to myself, you know, and talked to God and was like, you know, if you get me out of this, you know, I won't never touch, you know, drugs no more. And he did that, and that was in 2000, and I never sold drugs no more. You know, so this like 18 years later, I never touched drugs no more. You know, so that was a promise that, you know, I made with him, and I kept that, you know. And as I got a little older, you know, I started turning my negative into positive, you know, as far as talking to young kids on the block, young youth, you know, that's going the wrong route, going the same route that I did as a youngster, you know. So, and I just grew to love talking to my peers that come from the same place that I come from, you know, grew up the same way that I grew up. You know, like I say, it's not never about money with me, because I love my culture, I love my hood, I love my young boys, I love my young black youth, you know. So me talking to them and giving them that jewel is like, that's more than money to me, you know. So, but that's why I grew up in Rochester, New York. That's what raised me. You know, Rochester, that's what made me, I believe, the man I am today, and going through what I went through to turn my negative to positive and still be here 39 years later, because I have a lot of friends that didn't even make it to 16, 17, you know. So me being here at 39 is like a blessing, you know, because I got a lot of friends that's been murdered, that's locked up doing 25. You know, a lot of them didn't make it to 15 or 16. So, you know, me being here and being able to tell my story and talk to my youth, like, that's a blessing. And I've been next to people that's been shot, and that could have been me, like 3 times. You know, so it's a blessing for me to still be here. You know, a lot of our youth don't even make it. You got them now on the news shooting and killing at 14, 15, 16, 17, you know, every day. So, like I say, me being 39 and still here, that's a blessing for me.
Wow. That is some very powerful and impactful information. Like, that, and I bet you this is what influenced you to write. Am I correct?
Exactly. That's what influenced me to write. Like, I was out in the Gulf of Mexico, and I was out on the water for like 28 days at a time. And I was sitting out there one day, and I just thought, you know, just thinking about my life story and everything that I went through, you know, and my youth. And if I write this book on my life and how I turn my negative to positive, if I can get some of my youth to read it, you know, that'll be like a blessing to me. And while I was out there, I started writing, and every day I would just write. And when I finished it, I didn't really know how to write. You know what I mean? I never passed the 9th grade. You know, I knew how to write, but I didn't know how to paragraph it. I didn't know how to put it, you know, the dots in the commas. I didn't know how to, you know, edit it. So it was actually, the first book was actually like one long paragraph. And after I wrote it, I learned how to put it in paragraphs and chapters. And I did that, and then I put it together. I sent it to a publisher out of Florida. I think she had something to do with like the Love and Hip Hop TV show or something. And I sent it to her, and I had just left from down south, and I was moving back to New York, and she called me, and she was like, yo, that book is trash, yo. She was like, yo, she was like, that book is whack. She was like, you know, I'm just being honest with you. And she was like, you know, I would help you if I had the time to help you get it right. And, you know, she never got back with me, and she, like, crushed me, like, when I hung the phone up. So I walked out on the balcony. And I'm thinking, like, damn, you know, I know my shit ain't right. And so I sat for, like, 2 weeks, and I got a game plan, and I rewrote that book, and I put pictures in it, and I redid the book cover, and I found out how to publish on my own. And I dropped that book, and I was selling mega copies every day all over the internet. If you check my Facebook, you'll see all of the people like that supported me around the United States. I sold books in Germany and London. It was crazy because of what she told me. But to this day, I appreciate her telling me that, because if I would have signed with somebody, I would have been getting like $60 checks, $20 checks. And when I dropped that book, I was making like $250, $300 a day shipping 20 or 40 copies in and out of state, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a blessing with her. And I always say that, like, I'm glad she told me that. And after that, I had a lot of authors coming to me and asking me, like, yo, who you signed with? And I would just say, nobody. You know, I just signed to myself. And I had mega cats hitting me from jail, females, like, wanting to sign to my publishing, but I didn't really know nothing. I just put a book out there, and I didn't think that it would blossom like it did. Mm-hmm. But it did. And it just took me, like, so quick. And before I know it, I had a clothing company hit me by the name of Paper Route Clothing, and they hit me with a clothing endorsement deal. And they give me a lot of clothes, and I did photo shoots for them, and then they hired me to write an independent movie for them. You know,
wow.
So things were like clicking, like it was like, yo. And I had my family in Mississippi, you know, dropping the books for me. I would send them copies. They was getting rid of them, like quick. You know, and everybody was on it. Like Rochester, New York, like they really supported. They really held me down. Like they was out on the block looking for me every day for them books. I had people calling from everywhere, you know, to get that book. You know, so. And that was my first book, and I have never dropped a book since. Mm-hmm. And that book's still selling. And I dropped the book, I think, in like 2016 or something. And it's still. And I've traveled and talked to young kids, young troubled youth, you know, young boys. I went to different school and you know, and gave them jewels, and you know, talk how they could turn their negative to positive, you know, the same way I did it. You know, they no different than me. I've talked to drug addicts. You know, I've talked to young girls that have been through things, you know, that young girls shouldn't go through. Like, I've just about talked to every age youth there is about this book, you know. So this book was like it really opened a lot of doors for me, and I don't really consider myself an author, but I get a lot of respect from a lot of authors in the game, you know, and I don't consider myself no author. I just wrote a book and it just blossomed, and I just got a habit of writing, you know, so.
Okay.
And that's the book, The Jay Wilkinson Story, 13 going on 35, which is available on Lulus.com and Amazon.com.
Okay, so when you say you don't call yourself an author, what do you call yourself then?
I mean, I know to other people I'm an author.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about what you call yourself. Yeah.
I just consider myself just a regular working person every day. It's just that I love writing, and I found a way to put the book out. But I see like a lot of authors competing with other authors. Like, I don't compete with anybody. I don't even read books, so I don't even really know a lot of these authors. I don't really know too much about them because I'm still in my regular world. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not really into the book world. You know, I just love to write, and now I know how to publish, so I write, and when I get ready to put one out, I'll put it out. You know, I know how to market. It's just things that I've learned, but I'm not into it like they're into it. Like, if you look at me, I haven't put out a book in like 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. You know, I can, but I haven't. But when you look at other authors, they drop books every 4 or 5 months. You know, so I'm not into it like they're into it. You know, it's just something that I like to do, and I know I can do it, and it just happened to blossom when I do it, and I've got a lot of connects off of writing books with different people, a couple of them in high places. You know, I got a lot of people that really support me, and they're still sitting waiting on my next book. You know, and it's just amazing to me that a young kid like me that never passed the 9th grade, I got a felony. You know, I sold drugs all my life. You know, I just had a lot of negative stuff in my background that just showed me, like, that no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, you know what I mean, you can always turn your negative into positive and be something. You know, I work for UPS. I've had my own roofing company. I've had my own landscaping company. I have my own publishing company. You know, my background is a lot better than a person's background has been to college, and I never passed the 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I say, this book is like to inspire, like, the young youth that, yo, you can do it. I don't care if you want to sit on the corner and sell tissue all day. You know, you could do it, whatever you want to do. You know, but like I say, back to your question, I don't consider myself like in their category. You know, I'm just over here by myself, and I just do a book when I want to do a book. I'm not looking at nobody's books. I'm not reading. I'm not rating them. I'm not slamming them. I don't even really know what the other authors are writing about. You know, I just know how to write and do for me. You know, and like I say, that's why I don't consider myself an author. Like, people that don't know me and don't see me on a daily basis, and all they know is my book and Author Godson, they'll consider me an author. You know, but me, I just consider myself an average going to work person every day, on the hustle, on the grind, and that's it. You know, the book is just like a hobby thing for me. It's just something that I like to do.
Which is true. I will say that when I started writing, it was a hobby for me. I loved writing because it made me feel happy inside. It gave me a joy to create different storylines, different characters, scenes, new places, the imagery, the poetry. All of the above is what I loved when I first started writing. I still do. I still love picking up my notebook or my iPad or my laptop and just writing a story. I don't feel like I have to be in the need of a category to write a story, or, you know, just I'm an author and just feel like an author needs to just write anything. That's not how I operate. I operate on writing a story that I feel connected with. Like how you said, some authors drop a book 1 month, then 2 months, 3 months later, even a few weeks, they drop a book. I can't operate like that. I have to be able to be in a good space to be able to write my book in a good time frame and give myself about more than 2-3 months to finish a book and have my publisher put it out. I can't just write one book and then shoot off and write the next book for the series. I can't do that. It needs to be a process for me. Like right now, I'm working on my part 2 to my series. I'm not even done yet. I told my publisher, I said, I'm not done. I'm not done yet. I'm just letting you know that right now. I'm not even close to being done because she knows I'm in a process of how I write. And when I write, I'm connected to my characters. So that's just my joy of writing. I don't do this for getting paid or anything like that. I do it because I love writing, and I love giving my readers mixed emotions when they read my stories.
Exactly.
So, when did you start your publishing company?
When I dropped this first book in 2015, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just created it, Godson Publishing, and I called myself Author Godson, and I just created it from that because a lot of people was asking me, who am I signed to? And I really didn't know nothing really about, so I just created that, and off that it just started buzzing, you know. But that's how I created it, you know. I wanted a name that'll stick out there, and I am God's son, you know what I mean? And in the world, I know they would perceive me as an author, you know what I mean? But like I say, so far everything been good. I ain't had a negative, you know, going with the book, except people want to know when the next book coming out, you know. So that's what's up.
Okay, and what is it like having your own publishing company?
I like it because I can do what I want and what I want. Like I hear a lot of authors, they'll hit me up and they'll be like, I want to sign with you. I want to get out of my contract with my other publishing because I have to write so many words, or I have to do so many books, or I'm not seeing any royalties from my publishing. And when I do it myself, I get all my money. I get my paperbacks, I get my ebooks, I get to really market my book, because I see a lot of them that just go on Instagram and Facebook. I put a marketing plan together for anything that I do. Like for my book, I'm gonna get some T-shirts made. I'm gonna figure out when I'm gonna do what states I'm gonna do a book signing. I'm gonna call at least 50 libraries. I'm gonna stick my book in at least 50 libraries. I'm gonna get paid for that. I'm gonna stick my book in 100 bookstores across the United States. I'm gonna get paid for that. I'm gonna sell my hand-to-hand books, $10 a piece. I'm gonna get paid for all that. I'm gonna ship my books to down south and get a pre-order set up for 40 copies. I'm gonna get all that money. So those are the benefits that I reap from having my own publishing, and then I can't see what I'm generating, and you're going to send me a $20 or $30 check. You're not going to let me have my own people back, so my people can support me and buy my book from me and spend their $10 with me, instead of you getting all the money and you not breaking bread over here, or you won't give me an opportunity to have my paperbacks so I can get my money. And if you do give me an opportunity, you want to sell them to me for more than what you paid for them, so I can't make profit. See, a lot of these authors, they don't know that, and they just leave them in a limbo, and I don't like that, you know what I mean? So that's why I give every author that call me, I give them the game for free. I give it to them for free, because I don't like how they do that. When a person sit and they write a book for 2 or 3 months or 5 months or a year, you're going to give me $20 or $40.
That doesn't make sense.
And then you want to take my publishing, So, but like I said, I don't have nothing. I don't have I don't have nothing against the other publishers, because I don't deal with them. I don't even know none of them really, except for when I see them on social media. But I have so many authors just coming to me and telling me about my contract and this and that, and a lot of stuff that don't make no sense. That's why I say the lady turned me down from Florida for the publishing. I appreciate her for that. Like, that was a blessing for me. Because like I say, I could write. I've been working on books for a couple years, and I drop them when I want to drop them. I know how to market them now. I got connects now. So all of that motivated me when she told me that my book was trash. But I also learned a lot of the game, and I also give it to a lot of these authors for free. But like I say, because a lot of them just want to put a book out. They want their people to know, look, I got a book out, and they don't take time to read in between that paperwork. True. And then when the publisher hit them with, you can't do this and you can't do that, and I need this from you, because you didn't sit down and read the paperwork properly. And I've learned a lot of these publishing companies, which a lot of people don't know, if they don't have no LLC behind their publishing, they're not really a publishing company. So you're not really in no contract. But like I say, I'm gonna expose them much as I can, because I don't like them.
Oh, wait a minute. That was shots fired. Wait, I'm sorry. That was.
So and that came from, somebody that I know that sat down and spoke with a lawyer on it. We did some homework and research. And probably a lot of them don't even know that. So when a person say that they're in a contract and they can't get out, the first thing that always clicks in my mind is the publishing company. Do they have an LLC? Because if you don't, then you're not really, and I'm not knocking them. You know what I mean? That's what they do. But if you don't have that behind you, you're not really a publishing company.
Yeah, but it's the...
Just call yourself a publishing company. Because when you see anything on TV that's a business or has anything that behind its name, you're gonna always see LLC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just watch when you watch commercials or you watch TV or whatever.
That is very, very true. Because before I even got published, I wanted to prepare myself for this writing industry. I just wasn't going to jump into it and then get screwed over, or not, just everything just goes wrong. So I went through little things, but nothing major or anything like that. Just that my writing wasn't suitable for the publishing companies. And I understand that, certain publishing companies have their particular ways of what kind of writers and how they want their writers to be or anything like that. So they want it to be perfect or whatever. They basically, if the author doesn't sell books, they don't make money. So what are they going to do? They're going to get rid of that author. Point blank, period. If that author is not making them money, they're just going to get rid of them. And that's sad, because now the author is going to feel as if their writing isn't good enough. They shouldn't be writing. Like, what should I do next? And then they fall out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that really isn't right, because if you're a company and you feel as if your author isn't up to their potential, you need to get them up to your potential. Because if you're the publisher and you're an author yourself and you're a bestseller or anything like that, #1 on Amazon, New York bestseller, you should be the boss you are, so say, and talk to your author one-on-one and be like, this is what you are not doing, this is what you should do. The books you're writing, they have potential. You just need to push yourself. That's what these publishers need to be saying. They need to tell them that something wrong with their editing, it's something wrong with the way they start off the book. Or little stuff like that. Like, a book needs to grab the author the minute they read that first page. The publisher should be the one to read that first page, and they should be like, no, you need to go back and rewrite this one chapter. Everything after that is perfect. Just rewrite that one chapter. Add this, maybe. I'm not trying to tell you how to write your book or nothing, but they need to help them. Don't just think as them as dollar signs. Don't just think as them as, oh, they're just signed under me, it's whatever, let that be that. They gonna write whatever, I'm just gonna put it out there. Because you should want to mold your authors into the best that they can be, so they can be as good as you. That's why they sign to you, because they feel as if, oh, this is my favorite author and everything, I want to be just like them, that's why I want to sign to you and everything, because I feel as if you can help me. And then they get left behind because you didn't do anything like that. You just let them go. And that's it.
You gotta, like, I like to put my work in for my authors like I put work in for me. If I'm gonna put 100 in, I'm gonna put 100 in for them. But I also gotta see them doing the same thing. Because if not, then I'm gonna slow down. I need you to have the same momentum that I have. But like me, when I deal with my authors, I make sure we have every couple weeks we have a conference phone call where everybody can talk about what they're working on. How can I help you, help him, help them, help us? Everybody exchange information. Whatever I can help them with, I'm always there to help them with. They don't have no guidelines on writing. They can write what they want, how they want, whenever they get ready. We're going to edit it and go over it about 20 times before we put it out. Because we're going to make sure every word in there is spelled correct. We're going to make sure it's right. And we're going to read that joker between 20, 25, and 30 times before we put it out. And we're going to get a review on it from a couple people before we put it out. We're not just going to put it out. Because once you put it out there, like I've seen people's books where they get reviews where they words are spelled wrong in the book. Now you got a book out there for the whole world to see, and you got letters that ain't even spelled right, and you're supposed to be professional.
Right.
You know, and that goes back to what you were saying. You know, they gotta have to take time with the authors and sit down and, you know, be over them and make sure everything is everything before they put it out, instead of just thinking dollar signs and putting a book cover on it and promoting it.
Like my publisher, I love her to death. She is the best publisher. Why? Because she helps her authors. She will stay up late on the phone with you, text with you, email, post, whatever to help you. Like with me, she said, and let me tell you this, your storyline is good. No, she said your storyline is great. The characters are this and that, but it's just the way you are putting it together, because you feel as if you need to put so much into it, or you feel like you need to write it a certain way, or it's just the editing, or the way you're doing it, period. You're overworking yourself with the book, and you need to take a breather. You need to read over what the test reader said, what the editor said. Read over it. Read over your work thoroughly, and just go back and fix it. Go back and rewrite and send it back to me. Okay? Got another test reader. Got another editor. Did everything. Fixed everything. Checked it again. Reread it again until the book was perfect and on point. That's what your publisher is supposed to do. That's what my publisher did. That's exactly what she did for me. Because if I had I'm not downing no publishers, but I feel as if I had another publisher and they didn't do that, my book probably wouldn't have done as good as it's doing. Because one, when I put this book out, this was the first book I did with little bit of street lit, little bit of suspense. Of course, I've always written romance, but the street lit and little stuff like that I had to do a lot of research in and everything like that to make it realistic. Okay, I was a little bit nervous with my book. She knew this. She knew I was like sweating bullets about this book because I felt as if it wasn't going to be good. Nobody was going to read it. I was feeling like, how the heck am I going to write this book? And you know, that's how I felt, and I guess that's how I was writing with my book. I will admit, I was writing poor with my book. Okay? I'll go and say it. Because I said to her, I don't care if they knock my book down to like a -10, it sucks, it's this, it's that. I want to know so I can be able to go back and fix it and make it a 10 on 10 book. Period. And that's what I did. I said, I'm going to stay up until 4 a.m. until this book. I'm going to deprive myself of sleep until I feel that this book is on point like it should be. And she gave me that talk and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you're supposed to execute.
Mm-hmm. After she gave me that.
Yeah, that's how you execute. Just like that. Put 100 in and you get 100 out.
Right after she did that, I said, never again. I will never stress myself out and write poor because I feel like nobody's gonna like it. That's not how I am. So I said, my next book and the next book after that, I'm putting 100 in every time. Stay up late. I don't care if I wake up with bags under my eyes. My story is gonna be the way it should be. It's gonna be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. So it has to be perfect for me in my eyes. Everybody's not gonna like your work, but in somebody's eyes, they're gonna love it. So that's what I need to strive for.
Exactly. And that's how I am. Sometimes I'll go 2 and 3 months without writing. But when I do light up, I be on. I be working on 2 and 3 books at a time. You know, and then for the record, like, I'm not just no urban writer. You know.
Exactly. Me either.
I'm versatile.
Me too.
I have a book that I wrote on segregation, and I think this book right here is gonna be something like real big. It's about a family from Franklin County, Mississippi, and they grew up in Franklin County, Mississippi, and they're going through the segregated times, and it starts in 1948. And it's about a black family that they're working to be better, and they're trying to fight their way through this segregation thing. But it's a you know how you watch a lot of segregation movies, and they're all about, you know, just the dog biting and hanging the blacks. Well, the actual plot to this one is it's going to show how our ancestors fought to get where we at now up into 2019. So it's going to take you where, you know, there's hanging going on in this book. There's the words are reckless, you know, like they're using the word nigga. It's a real deep story. And this family, they have a son and a daughter that's 12 and 13, and they have a young one. And the young boy is kind of feminine, but he don't really know, you know, what's going on with him. And the daughter is a tomboy. So when the young boy finds out his sexuality, he starts liking a white kid in town, and he's gonna get caught kissing this white kid, and some white guys are gonna see this. And right before it's time for him to go to college, when he get older, they're gonna kidnap this kid and hang him. You know, but as time progresses, like through the 60s and 70s, you're going to see times changing, like when drugs start coming into play. Excuse me. You know, cocaine starts coming in the 70s. You know, where blacks are starting to be a little bit free now. Then it's going to go into the 70s. You know, like the cocaine and the crack era is starting to come in. You know, but black people can vote now. You know, they seeing like the light of day. And then it's going to go into the 80s, you know, where the crack era is really pumping, and everything that's going on in the United States, and we done passed them segregated times. And then it's going to go into the 90s, and then the 2000s, and it's just going to show how our black ancestors fought to get where we at now. And it's going to tell a story to our young youth now that our ancestors fought to get us here for y'all to stand on these corners with your pants sagging and sell these drugs. So the story is going to tell how they got bit by dogs, and they got hung in trees, and they got dragged behind trucks, because back then you couldn't even stand on that corner, or they would have did that to you. You know? So it's just to show them that somebody fought for you to be up on that corner with your pants sagging when you're selling drugs and y'all killing each other. You know, it's like people actually died for that, and a lot of them don't know that. You know, but it's a lot more. It's a lot more to the story too. You know, but that's just something that I'm working on. But I just want to let people know that I'm versatile. Like I write any and everything: kids books, segregation books, urban books. Books about a white family, you know what I mean? That has nothing, you know, so, but when I start dropping them, everyone gonna be like, yo, that was a good book, you know. So, but that's just one that I'm working on, and then I have a new one that's about to come out, and it's called Tales of a Hustler, the Mark Montana story. I'm actually finished with it, and I'm actually going to reach out to you for a book cover and a trailer to help me get the marketing going for it. It's about a guy from Brooklyn and a chick from Jamaica, and they get together in New York, and they doing robberies upstate New York, Rochester, Syracuse, Buffalo, and they going back to the city in Brooklyn and Queens and all the 5 boroughs and breaking the drugs down and starting their own crew. But the two have a bond so tight that, like, you couldn't squeeze juice from it, you know what I mean? And it's actually like a movie when you read it, you know what I mean? And but the book is wicked. It got pictures throughout the book. This kid, his name is Mark. He's like one of the main characters in the book. He actually goes to prison for a year in one of the chapters, and the whole chapter is focused on him and doing a year in Rikers Island. And if you've been to jail or you a street cat, you gonna really love and appreciate this book, because like they in jail, like really getting busy with the razors, cutting niggas up and throwing niggas off the tier, and it's really, and it's gonna be like the last urban book I do for a minute, and I'm gonna just show people how versatile I am after this one. And but it's gonna be a good book, and like I say, this is my next book that's coming. It's finished, it's complete, and it's called Tales of a Hustler, the Mark Montana story. So just look forward to that on Godsign Publishing coming soon.
All I gotta say is, wow, I am overwhelmed with all this literature books right now, because I got me excited for some more books. I already have so many books coming in the mail right now. I don't need to be asking for no more. Jesus, I need to be stopped.
Yeah. So, but I think like a good writer, like I said, and don't get me wrong, I ain't shooting no writers down, but I just think like a good writer don't have to drop a book like every couple months. You know, it's good if they choose to, and they got, you know, and they can do it, and, you know, that's they writing stamina or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think, like me, like I dropped that book in 15, and it's still selling, and it's still hot, you know, and I take my time writing, and I drop one like every year, every couple years, and it'll do good, and as long as you market it right, because you can't just drop a book and put it on Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. You know, like I say, to a lot of authors that's out here doing books, man, go on the internet, look up all the libraries. Once you get your book in that first library, you know what I mean, your book is in the library system. So all you have to do is call the library and ask them, yo, I want to put my book in your library, you know, and they're going to buy the book and put the book in the library. So now you done generated money from that. Call, get up one Saturday morning, get on your computer, call 50 bookstores. They're gonna do the consignment where you send them 5 books and you get paid for, you know, you get your money every month in your PayPal. You know, you get all your money instead of letting these publishers rape you. You know, you gotta do your own hustle. You know, if you mad at them for giving you a $60 check, then you gotta do something about it. You gotta get them 2 feet out, and you gotta get out there. You gotta market it and put it out.
That is true.
Because social media, that's just something you do on the go. You know, I want my book in all the states. I don't just want it on social media and in the state that I live in. You know, I want my book in all the states, any library, any function I can get in, I'm trying to plug it. I don't need the publisher to help me plug it. I mean, I need them to help me plug it, but I'm not going to just let them plug me on social media. I know what I want, and I know what I want to get out of it, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but like I say, I enjoy, like, marketing my own book, putting my own game plan together, and I'm only one person. So imagine if I had 5, or that person with that publisher put out the work that the publisher put out, plus the other people put out, you know, and you talk to your people and you get a game plan and market that book the right way, you know, you can generate a little bit more funds instead of the $20 or $30 if you just get out there and put the work in. But if you just sit back and punch a button on your phone all day on Facebook and Instagram, it's going to be what it is.
Yeah, and I was just asking my manager, well, my momager, the other day. I was like, I want to figure out how can I get my books in the library, right? I was like, the library is right down the street from our house. I can go up there. Oh, I had said, sorry if you can hear me. I guess it was breaking up. But I was saying, I had asked my manager, which is my momager, my mom. I was asking her, I was like, I really want to get my books in the library because, I mean, they're going to buy the book, so I'm going to make money. But it's going to be more people who's going to rent the book and everything like that. And they're going to be like, ooh, who is this? Let me search him up or whatever. So I was like, the library is right down the street. Shoot, I can go up there with all the information myself and try to figure out how I can get the book. in the library, because I have seen on Facebook with authors having their book in their libraries. So I was like, I want my book in the library. So I can go in there and go through the search bar and everything and find my name and be like, take a picture like, this is lit. Yeah. And I'm definitely going to be in the process of doing that. Go ahead.
Once you get it in that first library, you don't have to go to the library anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can call any and every library in the United States because you're in the system. So they're going to look it up and they're going to be like, okay, we're going to get 4 copies of this. And now you don't have to go no more. Once you get in that first library, you're in the system.
Mm-hmm. That's some good information. Authors, if y'all listening, which y'all should be, go do this so you can be able to get your book more out there instead of just having it on Amazon and everything. Like, I know it's a lot of authors that buy their paperbacks and they sell them, which is great, but you want to have a more outlet and a lot more exposure, you know? Like, you can get your books on different platforms such as the Apple Store and the Google Store, different places like that. But to actually have your book in your hand, in other readers' hands, that's the best feeling. Like, I love an ebook, but I love a paperback even better.
Yeah, and your family appreciate it, you know, because, like, you know, when your family see that 9 times out of 10, able maybe one of us in our family that's an author write books. So when you see, especially from, you know, a black standpoint, you know, when your family see that you wrote a book and where you come from and you actually wrote a book, they're going to support you. They're going to come by that book. They're going to make sure they support you, because not very many come from a family where a person, because I know I'm the only one in my family that's ever wrote a book. So I've got a lot of support. You know what I mean, for my family, you know. And that's why I don't understand why these publishing companies want them to sell a certain amount of ebooks, you know, and then be able to put paperback out. At least that's what I hear from some authors that I talk to, you know. If I have an author, I immediately want him to take 100 paperbacks and go get your money, you know. I don't want to just make you sell ebooks and get 10 cents, 12 cents off a copy. I want to let's generate some hundreds. Let's generate, you know, something that I can go out to the store and buy me something. Put in a check, worth putting in a bank account.
Nice. So speaking of authors, how many authors do you have signed on your publishing company?
I have 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have 4. One is KG Bethlehem. Y'all can check his book out too under Godson Publishing. It's called Moments of Time. It's available on Lulus.com and Amazon.com. He's out of DC, so make sure y'all check for him. He's all over Facebook too. You can look him up, Kevin Daniels or KG Bethlehem. I think he has 2 accounts on Facebook, and he's on Instagram. And I have an author from Houston named Serenek. He's out of Houston. He's a poet. He's nice. He's hot too. He's working on a poem book that's going to drop on Godson Publishing. And I have a chick named Sabrina out of Florida. She's an ill writer. She's going to be hot too. And they got me, and I have an author named F. Kenneth Taylor. He's out of Detroit. I think he's hot too. He's he writes like sci-fi books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're familiar with that.
Yep,
but
I am.
everybody bringing something different to the table. You know, you can check all of those cats out on Facebook. and I'll be putting something out with them and what they got coming soon. You know, everybody busy working on whatever they working on, but we're gonna have some hot literature coming out in the next couple of months. Yeah, along with the two that I have coming, and I'm also working on a documentary for the book, the Jay Wilkinson story. That's going to be coming pretty soon, and it's just going to be a documentary talking about my life, basically about the book and how I turn my negative into positive, and a lot of things that I've been through, and the jewels that I give these young boys to, you know, get their mind right, and, you know, show them you can be more than just the average cat on the corner selling drugs, going to catch 5 years and come back home and go back home and go back to jail for another 5 years. I guess another way. You know, it ain't just got to be that way. You know.
Exactly.
So, but I believe that's my platform to talk to my young boys, keep them out the way of police, to jails, getting murdered, because like I say, you don't have a lot of people that are just getting time to talk to another one or try to keep him out of harm's way. You know, the average one is trying to give him some drugs to sell or give him a gun or guide him in the wrong direction. You know, but I already been through that, you know, and I know where that's going to get you. So if I can talk to them and put something in their ear, then, you know, I done did my part.
That is very, very true. And the positivity that you're bringing and everything, that's what a lot of authors should do. They really should.
Yeah, but like I say, I enjoy it. And a lot of times, like when I go to these schools or I talk, well, when I was in New York, I was doing different schools. I would talk to the young boys, and when they come in the classroom, you could see they had that tough guy mentality, you know. And when I get through talking to them, I will bring a couple guests, like a friend that may have got shot, somebody that may have been a nurse. I will bring like one of my homeboys that was a deacon in the church, and I would let everybody tell their story, and I would tell my story, and then after the session was over, they would be done got something from it, like, yo, you ain't gotta be in no gang, because a gang is negative. That's gonna get you in jail. And I would tell them, like, when that judge gives you 25 years, your friend ain't gonna say, look, I'm gonna take 15 of them years. They ain't gonna be nowhere around when you get that time out. You know, and after that, you could see how their demeanor changed, and it was like, thank you, Mr. John, and I appreciate you when you coming back. And it was like, it was something different. It was somebody talking to them in a positive light, instead of them just seeing negative when they go home or when they let out of school and see the cats on the corner selling drugs or going home to something that they don't want to see, you know.
Right.
So after that, it was like they wanted me to come back like every 3 months. So yeah, shout out to Rochester, New York. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I got a chance to talk to the kids, and that was like a good thing, because I got a chance to bond with a lot of them. I would buy breakfast, and we would sit down and chop it up. But and you got a chance to see a different side of them, just being angry and hostile, and the teachers actually calling them the troubled ones, you know. But I got a lot of good out of that, and I think they did too.
That is great. That really is. The energy you're bringing with the writing and the positivity in your community and everything, that is what I love an author to bring. Not just on social media and just out there being negative. An author like that is how a lot of authors should be, period. Because it's a lot of people looking up to you and everything like that. Like, you have fans, you have readers. Like, show them some positivity. Don't just always have negativity when you go to their page and anything like that. So that's great. That's some great stuff to speak about all the time.
So, but like I say, that's why I say I do it from the heart, because I love to do You know, I ain't worried about getting no $10 for no book. You know, if I can come over there and I can do something and everybody can benefit from it, then I'm going to rock with it. You know, I ain't worried about no money. And anybody that know me, that really know me, because ain't too many people know me one-on-one in the book game, but the ones that do, when we conversate, they'll tell you that I keep it 100 and I'm going to give it to you and I don't want no money.
Right.
I don't want, you know, can't one tell you I charge them for nothing, you know. And I get cats that'll charge me or they want some information for some information, you know, but I'm not no cat that's really making a lot of money in the book world, so I don't want to charge nobody, you know. When I get a big check one day, then I can charge somebody. But right now, I want to give you the right information. I want to get you right. Because like I say, when nobody don't want to get done wrong, you know, I know I
Right,
don't.
that's true. Very true. Okay, this is the last question. And we're going to wrap everything up with this nice interview. What authors do you look forward to seeing in the book game?
My man Montana Wahid. He's from out the District of Columbia, ill brother. Make sure y'all check him out on Facebook. He have a book out right now. I forgot the name of it. But look him up on Facebook and Instagram. It's called what is it called? What the hell is it called? I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, he's on Instagram and he's on Facebook. His name is Montana Wahid. Bald head cat with the beard. You know what I mean? And my man KG Bethlehem out of DC. He got a lot to bring to the game. I actually don't read books, and I actually sat down and read his book. And when his book grabbed me, that's when I knew his book was popping, because I don't read books. And his book like really had me word for word into his book. I had to call him like when I was reading it and tell him like, yo, I really like this book, and I don't even really read books. So yeah, KG Bethlehem, check him out too. He on Amazon and Lulus.com. And F. Kenneth Taylor out of I think St. Louis, my bad. F. Kenneth Taylor out of St. Louis. Check him out. He also has the Unique magazine too. Make sure y'all check that out. Y'all can look it up on Google. Unique magazine. That's owned, operated by a black brother, F. Kenneth Taylor. Shout to him. He's also on the Godson Publishing.
Right.
And who else? Let's see. And Arthur Godson. Make sure y'all go check my book out. You know, check the reviews out. All the reviews is positive. I ain't got not one negative review yet. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all go on Amazon or Lulus. You can get the paperback on Lulus.com, LULUS.com. You can get the ebook on Amazon.com for $2.99, and you can get the paperback for $10. And I guarantee you, when you read it, you're gonna picture it like you watching a movie.
Right.
You know, and if you don't believe me, just go check the reviews out on Amazon, and you'll see that. You know, and look, and you can catch me on Instagram, Arthur Godson, LinkedIn, Arthur Godson, Facebook, Arthur Godson. I just started a Snapchat. I don't really know how to work it, but you can find me on there too. And Twitter, Arthur Godson, everything Arthur Godson. Y'all can link me up and catch up with me. You want some autographed paperback copies, hit me up. Get them shipped to you. You got any personal questions, hit me up. It ain't hard to get with me. And I appreciate you for bringing me on the show and giving authors this platform to, showcase what they're bringing to the game.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I got one more shout to my man Capone out in Long Island, New York, for putting me up on you and putting me up on y'all new magazine y'all got coming. That's a blessing. That's a good thing. Definitely shout out to my man Capone at Long Island, New York. Peace. Yeah. So.
And with that said, we had some lovely, valid points from Author Godson. But it's time to say goodbye. I love you all. He loves you all. But good night. Have a blessed night.